I hope she joins us at every summit. Thank you, Kelsey. How was lunch? Good? I hope you enjoyed it. Another big shout out to her hospitality for making everything delicious for these 2 days. So give them a round of applause, please. I am now very excited for this discussion that will focus on closing the nutrition gap and making sure that we're not just filling people up, but actually making sure they are nourished. For this panel, joining me, we have Yvon Giraud, the North American CEO for Bell Brands. Give him a round of applause. Bigger, I know it's after lunch, come on. And Cécile Béliot, the CEO for Bell Brands. Okay, here we go. We are so excited to have you here. Thank you so much. I am hoping, Cécile, that you can start by talking about Bell's origin. You have a really great origin story.
Yeah, absolutely. So Bell is a French company. We've started 160 years. So we are 160 years old, so you can imagine the very long history. So this is a 5th generation. We are a family-owned company, 100% private. And I'm sure that you know part of our brands because you may have been raised with them. Babybel, The Laughing Co., Go-Go Squeeze. We are used to say that we sell portions of goodness coming from dairy, fruits, and veggie. And we want to have very simple ingredients in our portions, in our snacks. Some brands have already 100 years, like The Laughing Co. And I think what is very important to understand with the company is that because it's a family-owned company, because this is a 5th generation, the only question that my shareholders always ask me is, how do you make sure that with the decision that you take today, the company will be here for the next 20, 30, 40 years? They consider themselves as, I'm just here to pass the baton, and I'm here to work for the next generation. And when you start to look at things with that kind of glasses, there are topics you cannot escape. You cannot escape from climate change.
Sure.
You cannot escape from the fact that there is a huge link between food and health of the planet, but health of the people. And that as part of this value chain, as part of this chain, we have a huge accountability on how people feed themselves and feed their kids. We cannot escape from the fact that there is, on one side, 1 billion people who suffer from obesity and 1 billion people who suffer from hunger.
Right.
So the food system as it is today is just broken. So everything we do today is to try to showcase that there is a path. There is a path where you can deliver on both performance and sustainability. And as we've seen that today, food is a fantastic lever to solve massive issues today. Issue of the climate, issue of the water. We know we're all gonna, lack water in the world.
Right.
It's already a fact. It's not even a question. So I'm used to say that we are the first generation of leaders who knows everything. We have all the data. So it's not a question of data anymore. It's a question on how. How do we drive the change? So that's the kind of conversation I have with my shareholders, and I think that's what makes us different.
Before I follow up, I just want to mention that there's some great Babybel products being passed around. Do you want to talk about what's being passed around, or do you want me to do it?
Sure, I can. We prepared actually. I'm Yvon. Thanks for having us. And first of all, I want to start with that. A big shout out to your organization for inviting us. The food was amazing today. It's digestion time. We are talking about food together. So please join me for a big round of applause to your organization.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
And then it's about purpose. It's about not only our brands. We're here to bear witness of what we do, but you have a kind of bento box within. You have a Babybel product. You have a Go-Go electrolyte product. You may have a Laughing Cow product. And these are the 3 portionable snacks that we sell in the US. We'll sell them massively. 2 billion of portion snack of goodness around those 3 brands that we serve to the American consumer. Wow. So this is what you eat. We'll talk later about our plant-based version of cheese as well. But basically, Our goal is just to join the movement of goodness with you all and to testify on what we do.
Thank you. I think this is a question for you both, but Cécile, you mentioned that Bell is very forward-thinking and that you have this accountability, this responsibility. So many companies are just sort of realizing that they have to have that accountability and responsibility. Do you think that other brands look to you both? You're here in North America, Yvonne. You're the global CEO. Are other companies coming to you and sort of learning from you?
Yeah, I'm sure we are part of a lot of coalitions because we share a lot what we do. By the way, there is no way to change the food value chain if we don't go for partnership and coalition. I need my retailers if I want to have an impact. I keep on telling to the retailers of the world, you cannot tell me that you do not have an impact on how people feed themselves. You promote, you merchandise, you decide price. So the way you put the product on shelf has a massive impact on how people feed themselves.
Right.
And there is more and more awareness on the fact that, yes, we have a massive issue. Obesity is not only in this country. Obesity is everywhere right now in the world. You will go in emerging country, you will go in Nigeria, you will go in Indonesia, where you have, growing GDP, people getting access to packaged food. And instead of, providing them better food and getting them out of malnutrition, we provide them empty calorie. We nourish them through fat and sugar. This is the way we have started to feed the world. So this issue is at global level. And yes, there is more and more, consciousness about that. And that's where we can make an impact. And my motto is to prove that if we continue to oppose performance and sustainability, we are in the corner. If we continue to oppose healthy and fun and playful, there is no way for people to adopt the right diets.
Right.
Because,
right.
I'm used to say, a lot of people say, we need to educate people. But nobody wants to be educated. I don't want to be educated. People want to, you have to appeal them. You have to make it fun for your kids,
right.
So that they want to try, they want to discover the real taste of food and fruits and even veggie. So I'm trying to convince that at Bell, we can make an end in everything we do. We do performance and sustainability. We do health and playful. We are global and truly local with the way we approach the food.
Right.
And I see a lot of people that start to look at us in a different way and come to us because they try to learn. Because again, we are a living proof that there is a way.
There is a way. Yvonne, if I can turn to you, you have been instrumental in making sure that the company's journey in the United States and all over North America is a successful one. And, Cécile was talking about how the food system transformation, she didn't say it quite like this, but this is what I gained from it, has to be delicious. So can you talk about some of the ways that you're appealing to consumers in the United States? You mentioned the vegan cheese, and sometimes people sort of ruffle their feathers at vegan cheese, but you've learned to make it delicious.
First of all, to your original question, it's a real call of action to action for everybody here in this room, individually, collectively, with the farmers and the growers, towards our supply chain, the manufacturers, the retailers, and we're working a lot with the retailers on that. So it's definitely a joint effort and a mission that is beyond business, I wanted to specify. Then, we guys in the room, we have a problem. This is the numbers. So the numbers are this. 90% of us in the United States snack 3 times a day. 25 is the average, 25% of calorie intake that we take, average, comes from the snacking. It goes up to 40%, especially on kids. So at the same time, so it's big market, we snack, we love snack, everybody loves to snack, right? At the same time, we're only 10% of us, 1 in 10, that meets the dietary needs in fruit, vegetables, and dairy. So that's where we have a problem collectively, individually. We're managing what we call our nutrition gap at all levels, for yourself, for your family, for your community, in your business, in your workplace, everywhere. There is this possibility, this opportunity to close this gap. And that's what we're trying to do here. And to close this gap, we have three levers that are encapsulated in what we call the purposeful snacking movement. That is the snacking full of purpose. And what is a snacking full of purpose? It's three things. First of all, you have to be nutritious. You have to be into the nourishment. The first keyword is nourishment. It could be about cautiously and consciously processed food. It could be about meeting dietary needs. It's very individual by individual. You may need no added sugar product. You may need high protein product. Another one may need without gluten, and so on and so on. And it's all about driving our portfolio on this nourishment topic that is a key topic. In the nourishment topic, and there were great conversations this morning about that, you have the portionable snacks. Portionable snacks means anti-waste snacks. When you snack something that is portionable, and that's what we encourage and that we do super well, you control what you eat, you help your consumers control what you eat, you help them actually know what's in the product. In what you eat right now, you have a non-added sugar option, you have fruit-only options, you have protein options. So this is the nourishment piece. The second pillar, Cécile was telling about that, is joy. I was having a chat with Patrick from Impossible Food. You know what he told me? Hey, Baby Bell, that reminds me when I was playing with my red wax and doing some stuff and animals when I was young. So the playfulness in food is key. Food is about joy. It's about being social. Even snacking moments are more and more social. So that's what we do in the second pillar that is really about joy. Joy is about flavor. Joy is about texture. Let's talk about the alternative dairy options that we have. I love cheese. My goal, my job as a CEO is to propose alternative to the ones that prefer plant-based cheese. And this one is another way as well to reach that. The third pillar, and maybe I'm going to stop and Cécile is going to start talking about that a little bit because I'm talking too much, is about building the future, fixing the system, and coalescing together to drive the change and be an agent of change. And for that, you need to be leading by example. You need to be humble. You need to be acknowledging that every year you have to do better than the year before. And on that, I just want to quote some stuff. But in the US, with 4 different factories and 2,000 people, there is 0 waste to landfill at Bell in our company. There is 0 water waste as well. And we're recognized for that as many folks and many companies in the US by retailers. And we're leading this with the retailers and all the stakeholders in the room.
Thank you so much, Yvonne. Yeah, we can clap. I love it. I want to stick with you and you can chime in, of course. When we're talking about this purposeful snacking movement and everything's portion size, how do you deal with the issue of packaging and the potential waste that could happen there?
First of all, as a vision for us is 0 plastic, 0 aluminium. And I can tell you we will get there. We will get there. So how do we deal with that? We believe in paper. We believe that we will be able tomorrow to provide only paper-based packaging. We have already tried, for instance, Babybel in this country will be soon, so the wax will stay the wax because it's part of the product. It's why you love Babybel. It's because you play with the wax. And on top of it, we will switch to paper packaging. We, in Europe, we already have a prototype of machine capable to put the equivalent of the Laughing Co as a portion, not anymore in aluminium, but in a paper pack. Within 5 years, it's going to be put on the market. And why I believe in paper, it's recyclable, it's come from nature. If you drop it by mistake in the nature, it will disappear. And we do the same for Go-Go Squeeze. We are already working on a Go-Go Squeeze paper pouch. So it takes time, it's a lot of research, it's a lot of investments, but we will get there. And by then, what I wanted also to share with you is a fact that nobody really perceived. When you look at portion control, so we believe in portion control because it's the right size, the right calorie amount, like nutrition, and no waste. But we believe also in this because from a carbon footprint point of view, if you benchmark, for instance, a box of Loffinco portions, so individually wrapped in an aluminum foil, and you put the same quantity of Loffinco processed cheese into the bulk option, which is the plastic tub you're going to find, in the stores here. And we have studied with a very precise analysis, a life cycle analysis. We have studied the impact coming from the packaging on the Loffinco portion box and the tub option. Because we are capable, after so many years of producing Loffinco, to have a very, very, very thin aluminum foil, so the weight of the packaging is extremely light in the version in portion, and because then it's just a round box made of paper to compare with the plastic option, the reality is that the portion control packaging is as a CO2 footprint impact, which is 25% less important than the bulk option. So sometimes you feel you're making the right choice, moving to the bulk option, but when you look at the data in a very precise way, and I'm not talking about the waste, because when you open, of course, a tub, if you don't eat it all after 1 week, it's not exactly the same, you throw it away. You never ever throw away a go-go squeeze pouch or a Loffinco portion, because the product is protected.
Sure.
The integrity is protected.
Absolutely.
So even if you think in terms of carbon footprint, today, the option of the portion is better, and tomorrow, it's a commitment, we will have the paper portion.
Right, right. Yeah, that evolution has to happen, and it's a lot of experimentation. All of that has to happen. Sadly, we are running out of time. This conversation went very fast. I want to give you both a chance to give a call to action to this audience based on all of your expertise. So I'll start with you, Cécile.
I think that what is beautiful with food is that every day you make choice. You choose what you put on your plate. And every day you can advocate. I don't know any other field where you could have a much bigger impact than into food. And the good thing is that health of the planet and health of the people is directly connected. So put more veggie and fruits in your plate every day. Half of it, I really mean it, half of it should come from fruit and veggie. Good for your health, good for the planet. And the other thing that I would like all of us to advocate is the value of food. The reason why the system does not evolve fast enough, if you compare with the impact we could have, is because the profit pool at the beginning of the chain, meaning the farmers, the people who feed the world, who feed us in this room, they do not get enough fair revenues for what they do. And because they don't have the fair revenues, they are not capable to transform themselves, because if you don't know what you're going to earn at the end of the month, I can tell you that I can talk about the end of the planet, you will not move. So it starts by, and that's the way we have transitioned towards regenerative agriculture everywhere we operate. We have started by providing to the farmers and dairy farmers, especially here but also in Europe, a fair revenue that was not based on the price of the milk today, not on the market price, but on their cost of production. And then we have put incentives so that there is a benefit for them to move towards regenerative agriculture. So we need to change the narrative behind food. I know there is inflation. I know we need to support the people who are in food insecurity. And at the same time, we need to valorize more food, because we need to re-put profit pool at the beginning of the chain.
Absolutely. It doesn't have to be either or. Thank you for that. Yvonne, you get the final word.
Thank you. I'll be super short. It's a challenge for us all. It's about managing the snacking nutritional gap together, starting with ourselves, starting with our families, with our children, in educating them, starting with our jobs and in what we do. There are opportunities every day to be part of this movement. It's a cry of rally for everyone retailers, state officials, governmentals, consumers, non-profit, because this is a fight that goes beyond business. We're talking about food we're eating every day. So let's manage our gap together and let's coalesce together. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you both so much. The collaboration is what it's all about. Thank you. Thanks for your partnership. Thank you.